Is anybody excited about the new M4 iPads? You probably shouldn't be. Let's find out why. Welcome back to the channel, and as you know, I've made probably 600 videos on Apple products and services over the years. Apple should be paying me, but they're probably going to have a better chance of suing me at the end of it the way Apple is. But I love Apple products, and that's just the way it is. I mean, look around me. I have Apple products sitting here, and I have one over here, and I got actually a couple over there. But the point is I have more Apple products than anybody that is sane should have, and I only do it because of my channel. Otherwise, I'd have just my M1 MacBook Air or something sitting over there. I don't need any more MacBooks like this sitting over here collecting dust right over there. So at the end of the day, I do this all for you and my channel. I'm not crazy, trust me. I don't buy this stuff because I need it. I buy it because I want to do videos on it. Now, with all that said, though, I kind of take a cynical approach to Apple. I'm definitely not going to be one of the YouTubers out there that get the free products sent to them. You know the bunch of those that they get free Apple products to do the reviews on. They say, "Oh, look at this Apple. It's beautiful. It's beautiful." I do that sometimes, but I do also go against them, and they're not perfect. Let's just be honest. They're not perfect with everything. They're good, but not perfect. Okay, so if you're watching this video, though, you probably know that on May 7th, Apple came out with these one brand new M4 iPad Pro. It's the iPad Pro. They came out with a new Air and then a new basic base model over here. So obviously, I think you know about that if you're watching the video. Now, the reason to watch this video to the entirety of the whole video is going to be, I'm going to try to explain to you why the M4 iPad is actually bad news for pretty much everybody, all right? Everybody across the board. And more specifically, it's going to be even worse news for the exact people that it was created for. So stay tuned for that. I mean, the rush to the M4 iPad, in my opinion, is kind of the start of the end of us actually needing these creative tools. All right, now haters are going to post comments and stuff. I get it. I'm not a type of person. I'm not the creator that does the design work on these more powerful iPads. I don't have a pen or a pencil. I don't do drawing. I do video editing. I understand that. But to me, this was obviously a boring event. But for people that actually need this and they actually use this every day for their work, I understand that you may be a little bit more interested in this topic. But stay tuned on why I think this is going to be kind of a bad thing ultimately for everybody. All right, the event in general. So they came out with an iPad Air. Let's just talk about it really quickly. So it came out with the M2 chip instead of the M1 chip. I've never heard of anybody say, "Oh, geez, my M1 iPad Air is just too slow." But obviously things move forward. They got to keep doing it. Then they came out with some pastel colors, some new colors and stuff. I'm a guy, I watch hockey, I watch football. I don't want a pastel purple iPad. I mean, I want some dark colors. Give me a dark blue, right? Give me a black one. Give me, dark red even. I'll take that, but I don't want these pastel colors. It's not always Eastern. Apple's always thinking it is. And then they came out with the camera orientation's a little bit different, landscape mode, which is fine, a good upgrade. But then they started talking about this iPad over here, the upgrade to this. This is going to be the 9th generation, just the iPad general one. They at the very end of the video, they stated about the 10th generation, just normal iPad. And they basically said that it's available for $349, and they gave it about 8 seconds. 8 seconds. I think this is the iPad that 95% of people should buy. I think it's the one that gets sold the most. I think you can do anything you want on this. I don't even need a new one. This is 5 years old. So at the end of the day, you know where Apple's kind of, they want to sell you that high-end $2,000, $3,000 iPad. These things over here pretty much do everything. If you're not the design people that we're talking about, obviously. If you need it, you know you need it. 95% of people, this is all they need. All right, that brings me to the kind of star of the show, the M4 iPad Pro, all right? So first of all, they made it so thin that you can floss with it, and it's kind of crazy, right? I mean, who asks for an iPad so thin that it can bend in the wind? I didn't do it, did you? But they made it even thinner, and then they made it, I think, 1,000 to 1,500 nits of brightness, so bright it can burn a hole in your cornea, and do we need that? I don't know. I mean, obviously the professionals probably do for design work, but this is where it's going to get interesting, so stay tuned for the whole story, because you're going to understand where I'm going with this in a second. All right, so let's get into the star of the show, the M4 iPad Pro. Now, before we even get into that, the big surprise to me was AI. I mean, we listened to Tim Cook, we listened to the other people. They barely touched on AI when we all thought it was going to be a huge part of this. I mean, let's just be honest. The M4 chip, there's not even an M4 chip in a MacBook right now, and they have it in the iPad, right? So obviously, this makes me think that this is really to go ahead and start testing AI over the next 2 or 3 years with all these different applications and different things that are going to be coming out. But they barely touched on it that much, which surprised me. I got to be honest with it. I thought it was going to be way more AI. But you can be darn on, you have to be 100% sure that the reason they did this, the reason they put that super powerful chip in this device is it's kind of a testing phase over the next couple years for all AI stuff and creative stuff. And this is what worries me. All right, keep watching because this is where it gets exciting now. Now, I'm going to take a step back. So Adobe, if you're in the designer field, you know Adobe, you use probably Adobe products all the time. Photoshop came out a little while ago with a feature called generative fill. So for instance, if you actually have a picture and you need to expand the canvas, but you don't have any other picture outside of it, it uses AI to actually fill in the rest of the picture for you. You can also add things to the picture that weren't there, remove things to the picture. So if you have a bird that's wing is missing or something off the picture, it'll fill it in the best to its knowledge using AI. So this is what Adobe had before, but they just came out with a new feature. And take a look at my screen here. So I don't want to go through, I don't want to kind of, you want to go to this guy's video. He's really good. Tony and Chelsea Northrup. It says new Photoshop AI replaces the digital camera. Seriously, all right? So I'll have a link to this video. Watch this video. So now what Photoshop's come out with, or at least it's in beta right now, is they actually have, it's basically text to photo. And this is what scares me. So take a look over here. As you know, I mean, this is a very famous picture on the right over here. And this is done from, I think, the Dust Bowl back in when we had the Depression, basically, whenever that was, way back in time. But it was the Depression in the United States. And this is a very famous picture from that. Over here, though, what this guy did is he asked this new Adobe feature just to create a picture based off of that picture that had the same mood and everything else. And he just said, create it using text. And look what it created over here on the left. Now, it created a bunch of different pictures, and I'm not going to get into all of them. You can watch this guy's video, but it's now able to do full pictures, full photographs, basically. And it can do them instantaneously, give you 4 or 5 of them, and you have the rights to them. And those aren't real people. Those are people that have never existed, and that scene's never existed. And we're going to keep going here, but this is what really scares me. All right, so where am I going with all this? Where is this video going? And this is where we kind of get to the final stages here. So for all the people that really want this M4 chip to come out because they want it just to be a little bit more powerful, a little bit more of this, it can be the M4, the M5, the M11 later. This is just the start of things that we're seeing, just the very start of Apple being the #1 AI company possibly in the world. And they're not going to stop where Adobe is with this program right here. They're going to make sure that theirs is even better. So the M4 chip is really created to help them, overall make better stuff, obviously, but also kind of really start testing that AI feature, right? And this is where we get into a land that nobody really wants if you think about the end game on it. Now, I get the idea that the actual technology, it's coming no matter what. We can't really stop it. I'm not saying I'm not an idiot. I know that obviously you're going to say, well, things have to keep moving forward, technology move forward. I totally get that. I understand all of that, and that's not what I'm saying here. But what I am saying is for all the great photographers out there, all the great ones that actually take pictures, use these iPads, and then they sell their stuff to like stock photography sites and stuff like that for a business, this AI is coming for you. I mean, why do they need you if you can use Adobe's, maybe Apple's later? What I just showed you is pretty incredible. For all the artists that create marketing and stuff, they basically take the iPad, they draw on it just like that, and they create marketing materials for companies. AI and Apple, it's coming for you. For all the graphic logo companies out there that sell logos because they create them for you, for your companies and stuff, it's coming for you. For all the 3D modelers out there, it's coming for you. And then for even people that do stock, maybe music or stock, things that you can create companies where you have stock music, you create the music, you sell it, it's coming for you too. All right, even for people like me, I create YouTube videos, right? But at least I have one thing, me. So this is the difference. And I think this will eventually go away too. At least I have the rights to me right now for a short period of time. But I can actually show me. If people like me, they'll watch me, right? But with graphics or with photographers, for example, what I just showed you earlier, or with the, creating, maybe a design for a company commercial where there's not really any human interaction in it. It's just a design. These products and these AI features is going to be so good that they're going to be replacing you. So we got to ask the question, right? So is Apple's race to this AI and everyone else, I get that, it's everyone else, is the race with the M4, the M5, the M11 coming out later, is it going to be able to share the same space with all the creators right now that do this for a living? Or is this technology going to make all of this design work, all of this creative work so kind of commonplace that any person can do it with just the click of a button? And here's the crazy thing of the whole video, is Apple actually, by doing this, are they actually going to be making products so good that they're actually going to replace all of the people, all of the wonderful creative people that actually buy their products to create that in the first place? Are they actually going down that course, and will they ultimately fail because of the fact that they're replacing all of the people that love their products? All right, I get it too. I know that here's the argument. If Apple doesn't do this, other companies will. I totally get that. I do think, though, that obviously AI has its place. Curing diseases and helping planes fly and stuff like that. It could be very good there. But this is an area that we do need to discuss in a little bit more detail. I mean, this is coming really fast, and do we even have enough time to stop it is the question. We have to think about that. I mean, do we really want to live in a world where, creativity or whatever you get that you're watching comes from the click of a button instead of through someone's experience, through their, imagination, or even through their life experiences? Is that better, or is it just better to click a button and have this created for you? But this is a real discussion that needs to happen really, really quickly. And at the end of the day, unless we ask these questions and we start actually, we don't think we can do much, but unless we start asking these questions, really everything as far as all of the commercials, all of the creative work, all of even writing emails will be kind of handled by just a few large AI companies, because people are going to start using this in a way where it's not actually them, it's going to be coming through the eyes of these larger corporations. And we already know how large corporations handle things now. Do we really want this to cover almost everything else that we kind of deal with on a daily basis through AI? So obviously, this is my kind of main concern with the M4. It's not so much on the M4 and the iPad Pro. It's really just on what Apple's end game is with AI. We all have to ask that question, and with any company here, because like I said, at the end of the day, that's my famous phrase. We're not going to be in a better place. I mean, initially, they're going to get us kind of hooked and baited. They're going to say, we're going to start with, finishing some emails and doing a little tweaks here on image editing and stuff. But by tomorrow, it's going to be, we're replacing you altogether. Why do we need a photographer? Why do I need to pay for stock footage from a person that took a picture when I can just hit a button and create it myself? Those people are going to be going away very, very quickly. And these are the exact people that want the M4 so that they can create their work now, but they just don't see the end game coming as fast as it is. You tell me, am I being super cynical here? I know things have to move forward. I totally understand that. But have we all thought through the end game on this? I don't think we have. And if you can subscribe to my channel, if you like these kind of approaches where you're not always thinking about only the great stuff with Apple, definitely subscribe to my channel. I definitely give them good reviews on a ton of stuff as well. So if you like Apple products, services, tech in general, I do things on hard drives, monitors, you name it. Subscribe if you can. And we'll talk to you in the next one. But post in the comments if you agree with me or if you completely disagree with me. And we'll move on. Talk to you soon. Peace.